welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Hope, and for this video, I'm going to be doing embarrassing stories and funny stories with my little sister, Mary.
Hi.
I am so sorry. I have not posted in, like, the longest that I've never posted for before. I don't know exactly how long. I feel like it's definitely been over a month. But, I've had a lot going on, and I'm planning my wedding at the moment, which is supposed to be this spring. We're still getting a date set, but it's supposed to be this spring. So, bear with me, guys. So, let's start off. Oh yeah, then the other day when we were supposed to film.
So forgive me if I
Other
call.
week, I should say. She got sick, and then we weren't able to film it. So, I have my little strange notes for my funny and embarrassing stories. I forgot my list at home that I was supposed to bring over here because this is my RV that I'm going to be moving into when my fiance and I get married. Okay. So who wants? You want to go first or me?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. So my first embarrassing story I'm going to share is, so we had neighbors behind our house. Well, they're still there technically. But I won't say names or anything, but our neighbors who live behind us, we've lived here for like 7 years in this house or something. And the neighbors behind us used to have a dog, and they would leave the dog outside like all day, all night, and it was really sad. And so I actually tried to buy their dog from them when I was younger, and then their dog went missing, and I didn't know where their dog was, and they would not answer their door or anything or tell me. And so basically one day after like the dog, I didn't know where the dog was for like 2 years, and then one day people were actually out in the backyard for the first time in forever, and one of them, I won't say the kid's name. What should I call him?
Jacob.
Okay, I'll call him Jacob, even though that was nothing like his name.
Literally.
Jacob was outside in the backyard, and I was like, hey, well, no, I didn't know he was outside the backyard, so there was somebody who was mowing the lawn, and then somebody else who was there who I thought was Jacob. And I went up to the person who was mowing the lawn, and I was like, hey, do you mind getting Jacob for me? And he was like, I am Jacob. And that was the most embarrassing thing, pretty much, that has ever happened to me, because I have never, not even known who somebody was after not seeing them for, like, 2 years. That was
He did look very
really embarrassing. Yeah, he went from being, like,
a kid to being
9 or 10 to, like, yeah, from, like, probably, like, 10 to being, like, 12 or something.
No, it was more.
Maybe, no, he might have been older. Maybe he was, like, 11 to 13
like
or
12
something.
to 14.
I can remember that kid looked so different afterwards, and that was so embarrassing.
The other week, I was in, like, a gas station bathroom. And I always, like, check the stalls for safety because I've always, like, heard of stories of, like, somebody, like, crouched in, like, hiding there. So I checked the stalls before I go into one. So as I was checking the stalls, I was, like, in that mode of, like, safety. And then the lady walked in behind me, and I didn't see her. And so I literally turned around and gasped so loud. And she literally was, like, she got startled. Like, she jumped back and was, like... And then I was, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I just get startled really easily, and then I end up scaring people. And she was, like, it's okay. But, like, she looked at me like I was, like, crazy. So, yeah.
Yep, that was probably pretty embarrassing.
That was pretty embarrassing.
So this is kind of a joint story about putting banana in our hair.
I remember that.
So how old were we? I was probably like 14,
I was like,
maybe at most.
No, I was older than that.
No, you were not. We were like,
maybe. You
or
were
maybe
like
around there. I think
And
I
I
was
was
around
like
14.
Whatever.
And you were like 12, I think. But who knows? Anyway. So, I had heard that putting banana in your hair was good for your hair, and at this point, I was trying to grow my hair out, and I had tried so many things, and my hair was really slow growing, so I wanted to grow. So, I finally decided I was going to try banana, and Mary decided she would try it with me, and we made this, like, banana paste. Yeah, we had put, like, banana and coconut oil, I think. Banana and coconut oil in our hair, and basically... Once we put the banana in, it would not come out.
No. And
we literally were trying to...
Didn't we also put plastic bags on our heads?
Yeah, we put plastic bags on our heads.
Like
and we sat there within our hair for like 30 minutes. Dumbest thing ever. There was banana chunks in our hair for like over a week later. And
yeah, you
we had
just
sat in the bathtub trying to get it out with coconut oil. Coconut oil was the only thing we didn't get any of it out. Picking it out of our hair for like 2 hours. And then a week later, it was still in our hair.
5 little pieces.
And our hair was like
by our
banana.
scalp.
It was gross.
It was like by our scalp.
Never,
That's
ever,
where
ever,
don't
ever
do
try
it.
it.
And
That
if
was
you do,
terrible.
like, make sure, like, you pure it, like, I may work out like that if you were to do that.
Just
but
don't
probably
do it.
not.
Just
Yeah,
don't
it's
do it.
probably
There's
just
other
not best.
ways, just so banana is not it.
I know it still says that, though.
Okay, so the other one is off of that, but it's not one that you did. It was something I did.
Okay.
I heard of overnight hair masks, and I was like, oh, great, I'm going to do a DIY overnight hair mask. And I did not put banana in it, thankfully, but I put an egg, no, 2 eggs, 1 or 2 eggs, and honey and other stuff, mayo, whatever stuff that they said that was good for hair. And I put it on my head, and I put a Walmart plastic bag over my head, and then a t-shirt over that, and, like, tied it around my head somehow that it stayed on. And then throughout the night, that was literally the worst night of my life. Like, not the worst night, but, like, one of the worst nights of my life. I could not sleep. I kept waking up. It was dripping down my neck.
Oh, Lord.
It was hot because the plastic bag. It was crinkling in my ears. It was sticking all the way, dripping down into my eyes, dripping down all over my face. It was sticky. It started drying on my face. It was literally a nightmare. Just don't do overnight hair masks. Okay, so, we have friends, and one of the family, it was like a long childhood family friends, and one of them, like, I liked when I was younger, and pretty sure he liked me too.
Yeah, they both had a crush on each other, and then...
Yeah.
And then I was trying to... Go ahead, if you want to.
Oh, no, you can go ahead and say it.
I was trying to, like, find out if, like, he liked her back, or, like, at
It was
least,
kind of
like,
obvious now.
imply
But,
it. Like,
it's-
yeah.
Back then,
But
yeah.
back then it was kind of awkward because
we knew, but we didn't at the same time.
I was actually way different. Like, when I was a kid, I was, like, a big-time daredevil and literally would pretty much do anything or say anything to anybody. So when Anne-Marie and I were talking about it, she thought I'd do it a lot less obvious because, I mean, I was, like, 8.
Yeah. She
And then-
said that she was going to go and tell this person,
Not like
this
telling him
kid
that you
that...
like him, but, like,
Yeah, how old were
imply
we?
it,
How old were we?
essentially.
Like,
I was
maybe
8,
like...
so you were, like, 10.
Yeah, I was like 10. I think she was like 8.
So the guy was, like, 9. And then,
No, he was 8. He's the same age as you.
okay, whatever.
Yeah, so he's 8, I'm 10, Mary's 8.
Yep.
And
And so, I went up to him, and I was like, this is such a kid way to do things, oh my
Yep.
gosh. I was like, you know, what's his name? What are we gonna call him? Sam?
yeah,
You know,
that's how
Sam.
it's weird. I call him Sam.
You know?
Call him like
David?
Frederick.
Oh, okay. So I was like, that's so difficult. You know, Frederick, how you love Hope, and your mom, and your dad, and your siblings, and then it just left it at that. But the thing is, I had, I think, way more space. I think it was, but it was such an emphasis on it. It made it so awkward. But
It was really awkward.
he was, like,
And
blushing.
I was like up sitting in a tree because we used to
Listening,
climb trees.
yeah.
And I was really sitting in a tree listening, and they
like,
were
we
down
had it
below.
all planned so that she could listen in.
And when I heard her say that, I was so embarrassed. 'Cause
awkward.
I did not think she was actually going to do it.
Yeah, I
And
was
I
like-
jumped out of the tree and went running, which is also embarrassing because I'm quite sure he knew that I was listening into that. So that was,
It was
so
the whole thing was
embarrassing.
so
Oh my
embarrassing.
gosh.
But
Yeah. And then it's also embarrassing that later on, I dared his younger sister to go tell him
that's
that I
horrible.
liked him.
That's horrible.
That's when I was older. That's when I was like,
13, 14.
yeah, early teenage years, I think. And she went and told him. I didn't think that she's
She
his
was going to
sister,
do
so it's
it,
obviously
yeah.
so easy for her. But like, I literally thought that she wasn't gonna go, and then she went over there and told him that I liked him. And then for the then, oh my gosh, then like less than 20 minutes later, his mom comes down and asks if I can help him carry a table or something like that had like paint on it or something into the house. So then I had to go out there after she just told him this and carry a table in with him, and we were like not looking at each other. It was really awkward.
That
Yep.
is very awkward.
And that was not on my story list, but I remembered that after that.
I've also
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say about my like crush story about like how I've had people like come up and then like I'm pretty sure everybody relates to this where like you're talking and then and then somebody will come up and be like, you guys like each other, like anything like that. It's
Oh
so
my
awkward
gosh,
because you
that's
just don't know what to do and
embarrassing.
you just look at each other and you're like,
Yep. Oh my gosh, when Andrew and I were first dating, somebody came up and asked when's the wedding. No, we weren't first dating. It was right before we started dating,
Oh.
rather. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say before
And-
you.
yeah, no, but I wouldn't have cared then.
Yeah.
But somebody came up and was like, when's the wedding, guys? And we just both pretended we didn't know what they were talking about. So at the college that I went to, there was a summer program, like it was like a week long, and they had one of the activities they had in the summer program to like show off like what the college had and like had to offer and everything. It's a college on a river. I'm not gonna say where because I don't want to give away details of where I went to college or anything right now. But basically there was a dock and then there was a flood like at the dock like right before we came up there, it was a big storm and it flooded. And so the dock was up like on a tilt. So pretend this is the water and this is the dock. It's supposed to be like, going down into the water, but it was like tilted this way. So like the part of the dock that was attached to the ground, the land that you would like walk down off of, was tilted like this and then stuck into the water and the ground. So there was like a gap between the land. It was probably like more than 4 feet like to jump across. Basically, when everybody went down there, all of the guys wanted to jump across and all the girls didn't. And so all the girls, they had some guy helping all the girls down off this other way that was like slightly easier to get down. And I, being the tomboy that I am inside, I said I was going to jump too with all the guys. So all of the guys, like there was like 40 of us, so like 20 guys and 20 girls. And I jumped all the guys and all of them jumped across. And then I jumped like towards the end, I think, or maybe like halfway through, I can't remember, but quite a few people had gone before me. And then I jumped and I almost made it across, and I just caught my toe on the very, very edge. So it like dug into my foot, but I just caught my toe on the edge of it, and then I fell down head first down the dock into the water. And a guy fell behind me and like landed partway on top of me, and I'm falling down head first. It was so embarrassing.
And like
that
all
was
the guys
so embarrassing.
They jumped in first?
Yeah, literally all of them watching me, and then they were asking me if I was okay, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. That was so embarrassing. I was gonna tell anyone, this was a little bit longer, but I was gonna make a full video on it, and I actually did, but I didn't feel like it was good enough. That's something you said earlier. Sorry, I checked the list. So one night when I was out at the bar, and this was more recently, this is not something I really did. This was just a horse that kind of caused a lot of chaos. But I was out at the barn where I board my horse, and technically you're not supposed to be out there past like 9 or 10. They don't have like a specific time, but usually as long as you're not out there past like around 10, they don't really care. But I was out there a little bit late. I think it was like 40 minutes late, so maybe it was like 10:40, almost 11. And I get off work late, and so when I was out there, I went out to feed my horse, and I take my horse out of his pasture, which is, the way it works is the barn has like 2 sides. You can go through it, like most barns. And the side that you feed the horses on, the little area that's like fenced in around the barn where you feed the horses generally, is connected to the barn on this side. And on the other side of the barn, instead of being able to go out that way, they have a pasture on that side. So there's a fence connected to the barn on the other side that is connected to that pasture. And so I take Raxus, that's my horse, into the area where you feed the horses, and he's just eating, and usually I don't tie him. Usually he just stands there and eats, and he's very well behaved. And then this other horse comes up, and it's, I guess, a new horse, because I didn't recognize it, and it had like one of those fly masks on, and so I couldn't even see like his eyes or his face or anything. And he comes up to the from the pasture that's on the connected to the barn on the other side, and he's screaming. Like, I don't know if any of you've heard a horse scream, but he was screaming like this shrill, loud, like whistling scream. And it was creepy enough on its own, just the way it sounded. But I'm afraid, because I'm out there late at night. I'm like, oh my gosh, he needs to be quiet. He's gonna wake up people. They're gonna be mad that I'm out here. Like, I don't know. So I was kind of internally freaking out, but I was just like, it's okay, horse, trying to calm him down. And he keeps freaking out. He's seeing that my horse is eating, and so he starts pawing at the metal fence, the metal gate, the opening, and he gets his hoof stuck in the fence. So he like looped it in through one of the metal bars and then out to the side, so he couldn't get his foot out. And now he's like freaking out with his foot attached to it. And at this time, it got my horse's attention, and my horse was worried for the other horse, so he goes running over to the horse by the fence. And then the horse starts rearing up and takes the gate off of its hinges, and is jumping around with the fence stuck to his leg. And I'm praying that this horse does not break his leg, because like it's almost incurable for horses if they break one of their front legs. And so I'm praying this horse does not break his leg. He's jumping around. My horse is in the way, and they're like now in a panic mode together, so they're like all over the place. And I could not get in between them without getting injured. So I had my dog with me too, my German Shepherd. I put her into the barn and closed her in there. Thank God she behaved and did not cause any noise. There was so much. I was thinking there's no way that people are not going to come out. And so I finally, the horse jumps back enough, and my horse goes running into the other horse's pasture past him. So then I'm stuck with the horse, and I finally got him to calm down. And honestly, I was really surprised at how quickly he calmed down when I started talking to him. And he let me get close, and I could feel him shivering, like he's like ready to take off because he's so scared. And I told him it was okay, and I took his foot, and he let me take it out. He was very good, and he stopped and he stared at me for a few seconds, like, probably like, thank you, lady. And then he went taking off running into his pasture with my horse. So I take the fence and I set it to the side at first because I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, my horse is running around in the wrong pasture. The gate's on the ground. Like, if anybody comes up now, it's gonna look so strange. It's so stupid. And so I have to chase my horse around. It took me 45 minutes, like 40, at least 40 minutes, like 45, 15 minutes to get my horse out of that pasture. It was almost an hour because they were running around bucking and all freaking out because they were all like wound up from all of the tension with that. So finally, I get my horse and I put him back out in his pasture, and then I come back and I have to lift this extremely heavy metal fence, this gate, back up onto the hinges. And thankfully, the way it is they have it so that it can slide off in case horses get stuck, so that they won't hurt themselves or whatever. So I got it back up finally, and I had to tell one of the girls who I thought the horse belonged to, which she didn't, but she knew who it did belong to, so it was fine. Just to make sure the horse's leg was okay, and explain that he had knocked the fence down and was freaking out. So that was really embarrassing and stressful, and I mean, it was funny after the fact, but it was just like, of course, that's the way it is for me. And my dog behaved, and I got her back out. Everything was okay in the end. But ever since then, I've tied my horse up when I was feeding him, just in case, because that could have gone so much better if he hadn't run into the other pasture, because the longest part of all of that was me catching my horse and bringing him back, because the horses would not let me near them after that, because they were really wound up. They were just running around and running for like forever.
I was at this gathering with my friends, and we were in this like big gym, and there were these janitors in there too that kind of like were like there watching over the building basically, and they had like the keys to it.
Sorry guys, there's no AC in here, so
yeah,
it's really hot.
That's why
so
I keep like waving myself up.
My hands,
yeah,
like, it's sticking to me because I'm sweating, and it's probably like all frizzy and whatever.
But the thing is, what happened was,
I should have put my hair up.
So I get super easily startled, and my friends know that. And one of my friends who I hadn't seen in a while, Coyote, was a guy, and he like whispered something in my ear. He was like, "Hey," or something in my ear. I literally went running. This is like my fight or flight. I went running, screaming the entire time. The first time, the janitors didn't notice because they weren't around. Then the second, he did it again when I told him not to, but it's whatever. And then he did it again, and I went running, screaming, and the janitors, literally all three of them looked at each other, and they went, "Shh." It was so embarrassing because the moms were around too, and I was just like, why? Because it literally almost touched me, and I couldn't be like, it was his fault. Like, I didn't purpose.
You should have just said that.
I may have. I don't think they heard me though. And then the other thing is just that when people scare me in general, usually my response is to drop on the ground, which is really unhelpful, and everybody thinks it's hilarious, and usually it's extremely embarrassing.
Yeah, not me. I almost don't really get embarrassed, so
yeah.
Like the only actually embarrassing stories I told was when
though.
I stubbed my toe and fell down the thing.
It's more funny though to drop on
So
the
many
floor.
people tell me at work, like, "Oh, she's blushing," and I'm like, "No, I'm not.
You just brought up the fact that like,
I literally
everything...
never blush."
Do you remember the thing?
I think I have to make this part 2 of this.
Yeah, I think you are.
Okay, guys, so we just thought of several more embarrassing and funny stories, but while we were sitting here. But I think we're gonna have to make a part 2 to this because I'm pretty sure this video is too long already. So
yeah,
and it's really hot and you have somewhere to be. So I think we should end the video now and continue it in another video. All right, guys. So I'm really sorry that I did not post anything in forever, and I'm working on a special video coming up soon. Actually, a few different special ones. So I'm just gonna keep it a secret for now. Make it a surprise, but thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for your patience with me not posting for forever. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the post notifications so you get notified every time I post a video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Bye guys.